What's up, guys? I'm Mr. Normal, and we're about to watch some creepy and strange TikTok videos you probably shouldn't watch at night. With all that being said, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video, so to recommend it to others, they'd muchly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, let's get into the video.
You guys know Jeremy Corbell? He's like really involved with like the whistleblowers, and he's being interviewed, and he's like, UFOs are real. They've been here for a very long time. The US government has known about it for a very long time. What you don't know is that there is going to be a giant lie that they want you to believe in.
Interesting.
The lie is going to be that there's going to be a giant craft slowly headed towards Earth, and this is the lie, that it will arrive in 2027.
What?
So what does that mean?
You think they're telling the truth?
My whole thought is like, there's so many people I've seen, like all this end time prophecy stuff is happening, all this weird stuff is happening, like Jesus is coming back really soon.
Yeah.
But my thought is like, if you were a believer and you were so disconnected from news, would you still be able to sense there's something off right now?
Francis Chan getting worked up on it. It's the scariest thing to me when he's
The
like,
2000
Adam
thing?
to Abraham is 2,000 years. Abraham to Jesus is 2,000. Jesus to now is another 2,000. We have the precedent of a grouping of 6 and then a 7th day of rest, or he says the 1,000-year reign could be what's coming real soon.
I'd be stoked for that.
If I hear that there's going to be a huge ship coming over top of me, I'm going to Mexico. Off of what they're saying, I'm just getting the vibe that they're just going to introduce Project Bluebeam in 2027. But hey, I don't know. Was this thing like hunting T-Rexes back in the day? Like, why is it that big? But apparently this is called a Burmese python. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not even joking. That snake could literally wrap itself around my house.
Here is the worst video on the dark web. This video was posted by a man named Jesse, a ghost hunter. According to him, recently residents in his village have occasionally encountered a white figure at night that looks very weird. One day, while driving home, Jesse accidentally encountered that weird figure. It's around 11 p.m. A white female figure was standing in front of his car. At that moment, Jesse could only close the car door tightly and pray. Luckily, the figure just stood there, looking towards his car for a long time, and then, strangely, disappeared.
Your prayer was definitely answered, my man. She just vanished. Man, it's crazy how some people just want to sit there for a good couple minutes just recording. I'm getting a quick picture and getting out because you have no idea what her intentions could be.
Tell you right now, hell yeah, I would do that for $1 million. Easiest money I'll ever make. This is a video that recently went viral on TikTok, and to say that it's uncomfortable is kind of an understatement. We can see this guy with his mouth open, clearly looks in pain, and all the while this chiropractor is pumping something up, and it comes out through his mouth. And believe it or not, this is actually a relatively common treatment for clogged sinuses and deviated septums, known as cranial facial release. Boiling this down into the simplest way possible, basically you just put a small balloon into the sinus and you inflate it, and this creates a lot of pressure and creates space. The balloon will then usually pop out through the person's mouth, and at this point, this is going to be very uncomfortable. The patient can't breathe, but then it's quickly popped and they basically just pull it back out of the nose. Hypothetically, patients should then have their sinuses drained, but honestly, it's not 100% clear as to whether or not this is very effective. So as of now, whether or not this works is very anecdotal, but yes, I would do this for $1 million.
No, I'm not doing this for $1 million. You can double it and give it to the next person. Hey man, if that works, kudos to him, but no, man, no. I'm cool with my nasal spray and we're moving on.
Now this next video comes from Elijah Carter, who's a construction worker for a house that's being remodeled.
It's been some time now that he's worked on this house, and he's just now realizing something about it that the property owner has never mentioned. In this house lies a hidden crawl space. Apparently, it was hidden behind a stack of drywall that no one had bothered moving until now. Seeing that no one else is around, as it wasn't a workday, he explores the crawl space all by himself. But little does he know that this was a bad idea. Following is Elijah's video. Watch.
But while I came across something that was really cool, and I feel like it sets this house apart. The reason why I'm just now finding this crawl space is because of this drywall. The owner, she had this drywall covering the crawl space. That's not the cool thing about it. And I want y'all to check this out. So while I was here, I found this table, and I also found this extra space right here. You have a vent right there. I think I just heard some footsteps. This can't be a squatter.
What was meant to be a short video for his Facebook group turns into something completely nightmarish. For one, the sound of footsteps was heard on the floorboards, despite no one being there. And eeriest of all, the sound of someone talking and giggling was heard from somewhere inside. But to make things even more frightening, the door to the crawl space begins to open on its own. It's no wonder why Elijah bolted out of there at full speed. As it seems, he wasn't alone. Now, if what he says is true, that there weren't any signs of someone being there the next day at work, then the question is begged. Just what exactly did Elijah encounter while being inside this house?
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't doubt if this house is haunted, but that literally sounded like a squatter. The way that little giggle was and the footsteps, bro. I'm glad he got out of there because you have no idea what that squatter could have on them. And that crawl space was weird because it literally looks like a house built inside of another house.
This isn't what it looks like. This urban explorer was taking a video of this rusty floor in an abandoned building when he realized it wasn't a rusty floor and was actually still water. Still water is exactly what it sounds like, still water. But the reason it's so dangerous is because when water is stagnant, it makes it easy for bacteria and brain-eating amoeba to breed. So going for a swim in it is not a good idea. But if you do get a bit on your shoes while exploring, it's not a big deal. But it's better to stay away from it.
That legitly looked like a rusty floor. I would have accidentally walked right into that brain-eating amoeba soup.
They say the worst thing you can encounter in the woods is other people. An outdoorsman was camping in a forest that's rumored to be where pagans perform rituals. He sets up camp not too far from the supposed ritual site, and when it gets dark, he wanders through the woods to see if there's any pagan activity.
Come on, mate.
He doesn't see anything, so he just heads back to the tent for the night. But while getting ready for bed, he starts to hear strange noises.
Definitely hear something out there. Oi. I think it's just wind. Bendy, come here, mate. It's got to have been someone. I'm gonna have to go back and get my stuff. I think best thing to do now is to get out of here. Wow! When I was packing up, I heard loads and loads of screaming from men, and it sounded like there were about 20 or 30 of them. And then they all started running, so I just grabbed my bag and off skis.
This is another reason.
Yeah, that was definitely a warning message from the people that do rituals there. I'm glad he got out of there okay and nothing happened.
There's also a video game. I don't know if you've seen. It's called One Man's Sky.
No,
It's crazy. Yo, this shit is crazy because the game map is so big. It has 8, I think, quadrillion planets.
Oh, I heard of this.
Yeah, in one
that's
game.
a sick game.
Yeah, with unlimited life forms, and the game literally never ends, right?
Yeah.
But here's the problem, because I seen it on a podcast, because the developers, I think that it's already been like 8 years. They're still putting out updates, and soon they're gonna put AI into the game. So the problem with that is that the game characters might become conscious.
Yeah.
So imagine we're creating a world, a universe inside our own universe. So now they're gonna be like, oh, who's our creator? Like what's our Big Bang? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But their Big Bang is us pressing the PlayStation button.
Yeah,
Take that
it's
in.
crazy.
Take that in.
Because if you take it in, the universe is constantly expanding.
Yeah.
That's the theory. Like the universe is constantly expanding and getting faster.
If my character in the game starts asking me questions like that, I'm just gonna return it. Like, I'm just trying to mine rocks. I'm not trying to explain the origins of life. But we all know where our Big Bang came from. See, when mom and dad love each other.
What the hell was that? Oh, that might be a salt. Oh, it is a saltwater croc. Look at that thing. Oh, yeah. We just went over a crocodile. Where's he going? That thing was huge.
That guy is so lucky that alligator didn't want to see what he was doing. Did you guys also know the 2 crocs that were on his feet? These jokes aren't getting any better.
They're gonna go right over them, dude. They're down. They're down. Hey! Dude, there's nobody in there. There's nobody on deck. There's nobody in the wheelhouse. Oh my god. We have divers right there. They just ran them over. Those are our divers. Dive flags up.
I really hope those divers are okay. The only conclusion I can come to is that dude slipped off his boat and that boat is just going. That's gotta be the worst thing to happen in the middle of the ocean, other than getting capsized.
On January 2nd of this year, a video was posted to Instagram, and the description explains how the parents woke up after hearing a disturbance in their daughter's room, and after ensuring that she was okay, they checked the security footage in her room, and what they saw terrified them, because you can see as she seemingly wakes up from a dead sleep at 3:33 a.m. and begins to stare at something that the camera can't see, but what happens next, they still cannot explain. As she stares at something in the room with her, a toy goes off on its own, and then the crib begins to violently shake. Now the daughter seems to want nothing to do with this, and just lays down to pretend like she's asleep. Now this footage obviously disturbed her parents, but it begs the question as to what exactly was she looking at.
I feel so bad for that kid. I hope she's not traumatized. But I didn't even notice the crib was shaking. I thought the toy fell over after it was making noise. Hopefully the parents move the kid to another room and just lock that room up and no one ever goes in it again. Or sell the house.
Have you guys ever heard of Death Mountain in North Russia?
Death Mountain?
This is probably one of the craziest connections, connecting a lot of stuff that we've talked about on the podcast. It's a very tall mountain, like one of the tallest mountains in the region. A very spiritual place. The ancient tribesmen, the Sami tribes, they say that it's where these giants used to live.
Of course.
And there's this giant flood And these evil giants who they say came from the fallen gods went to this mountain to escape the flood. Some of them went into the earth. They believe that there's the spirits of these evil giants still roam on this mountain today. There are 16,000 megalithic boulders that are bouncing on smaller rocks. They believe that these boulders were placed by the giants, and they act as a portal to another realm. So they say that these giants are actually very hard to kill because they could go to these portals and escape into the spiritual realm.
Dude, is that what Bigfoot is? Just a hairy giant?
Dude, it makes you think.
Well, no wonder Bigfoot's always trying to hide himself. He's the last one running around here. He doesn't want to get taken out. Maybe that's how Bigfoot always gets around here, because these giants put these megalithic rocks on smaller rocks, making these portals, and he just comes in and out every now and again.
Holy, we were this close from having a very different breaking news story, because a video has just been released of a Southwest Airlines plane having to abort landing and pull back up because a private jet was crossing the runway at the same time. Now, this happened in Chicago this morning, and luckily, after performing a go-around, the Southwest plane landed safely. But what is going on? We need to lock in.
Well, I'm glad they landed safely, but whoever is inside the air control tower, you need to get a different job, dude. Same thing with that pilot in that private jet. How did you not see that huge plane coming? All right, guys, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching all the clips we did today. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.